Listen to the echoes bouncing off the steel beams of GHEA Field at Arrowhead. Do you hear that? It isn't the roar of the Red Sea. It isn't the chant that has paralyzed opposing quarterbacks for a decade. No, it is the sound of the clock, the brutal, unrelenting ticking of the NFL salary cap. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eye of the Storm. I am your host, and today we are dissecting the most dangerous opponent the Kansas City Chiefs have faced since the dynasty began, the Ledger. We are talking about a $58 million deficit, the largest cap hole in the entire National Football League. For the first time since 2017, this franchise has something it never wanted: time. Time to think, time to mourn a 6-11 season, and time to decide which sacrificial lambs must be offered at the altar of compliance before the league year opens on March 11th. Brett Veach is standing at the edge of a precipice, and the decisions made in the next 60 days will determine if the Hunt family legacy continues to reign or if the kingdom crumbles into a rebuild. But before we go into the lab and break down the tape on these potential cap casualties, you need to join the inner circle, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments, is this the move that changes the season? Should Veach cut bait with the veterans, or is there a magic trick left in the bag? I'm reading every single one of your takes. Now, let's talk turkey. The math is horrifying. Over the cap has the Chiefs north of $58 million in the red. We are talking about a financial canyon so wide you could fit the entire state of Missouri inside it. And while the restructuring kings will tell you, relax, they'll just move Mahomes' $78 million hit around, you have to understand the cost of doing business. You can only kick the can down the road so many times before you run out of road. We are looking at a roster that has barely 44 players under contract. 44! You need 53 to play, people. And if you want to bring back the heart and soul, if you want to see number 87, Travis Kelce in red and gold for one more ride, heads must roll. The executioner is coming to One Arrowhead Drive, and he's looking for 3 specific names: Mike Danna, Christian Fulton, and Jaylon Moore. First on the chopping block, Mike Danna. Let's be clinical here. Staccato, cold. Danna is 29. He's due $9 million in 2026. 0 guaranteed dollars left. 0. He was the glue guy during the three-peat run from 22 to 24. But in 2025, the production didn't just dip, it evaporated. 1 sack. 4 QB hits. He finished with 25 total tackles, the fewest since he was a rookie back in 2020. You cannot pay $9 million for a ghost, especially when you have a young lion like Ashton Gillotte, our third-round pick out of Louisville, waiting in the wings. Gillotte, the 6'3" powerhouse, put up 38 tackles and 1.5 sacks in limited reps as a rookie, showing the same high motor tenacity we saw at Louisville, where he racked up 11 sacks in a single season. He's cheaper, he's faster, he's the future. One scout told me last week, Danna's heavy hands are still there, but the twitch is gone. In Spangolo's system, if you aren't winning the edge by step 3, you're just a body in the way. That is the brutal truth. Releasing Danna isn't just a move, it's a necessity. It's the difference between signing your draft class and watching them walk. Then we move to the secondary, Christian Fulton. This one stings because we saw the flashes. Fulton was signed to be the veteran anchor when Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson were battling injuries, but his body betrayed him. Knee surgery recovery, a week 2 ankle injury. He was a ghost until December. And while he stepped up against Denver in week 17, can you justify him accounting for 4.4% of your entire cap? No, not when Noah Williams, the steal of the 2025 draft out of Cal, is playing like a seasoned vet on a rookie deal. Williams, the 85th overall pick, showed absolute lockdown potential, recording 48 tackles and 7 passes defensed in his debut campaign. He didn't miss a single tackle in the first month. One AFC West executive told me Williams is the second coming of L'Jarius Sneed with better ball skills. If you keep Fulton at $13 million, you are falling for the sunk cost fallacy. If you keep Fulton, you are voluntarily tying your own hands in free agency. And finally, the versatile Jaylon Moore. This is the hardest X on the board. Moore was a godsend early in the year when the rookie sensation Josh Simmons, our first-round pick out of Ohio State, had to step away for a family matter and later suffered that gruesome wrist injury on Thanksgiving. Moore filled the blind side and the Chiefs went 3-1. He's the ultimate sixth man on the O-line, filling in for Jawan Taylor on the right side before his knee gave out on December 14th against the Chargers. But here's the tactical reality. Moore is on a 2-year, $30 million deal. That is starter money for a guy who might be a backup if Josh Simmons comes back 100%. Simmons was a revelation before the injury, allowing a minuscule pressure rate that made him look like the long-term answer at left tackle. If Simmons is the future, you cannot afford an $18.7 million cap hit. It's fiscal suicide. Let's go to the chalkboard for a second. Andy Reid's inside zone scheme relies on lateral mobility. Moore has it, but Simmons has the transcendent vision at the second level. If the Chiefs move Moore, they save millions in raw space. That is the money you use to keep Creed Humphrey or Trey Smith. One front office insider whispered to me, "We love Jalen, but we can't pay for a luxury spare tire when the engine needs a total overhaul." Think about the DNA of this team. Patrick Mahomes has the vision of Len Dawson, the toughness of a 1960s gladiator, and the arm of a god. But even a god needs a wall. We are talking about the Arrowhead mystique, the standard set by Derek Thomas and Priest Holmes. You don't maintain that standard by being sentimental. You maintain it by being ruthless. The 2026 Chiefs have to be leaner. They have to be meaner. They have to find the simulated pressure looks that Spangolo perfected, but they have to do it with cheaper, younger labor. I talked to a coordinator inside the building who said, "We aren't just looking at the cap, we're looking at the soul. We need guys who are hungry, not guys who are satisfied with their rings." That is a shot across the bow. Mike Dana, Christian Fulton, and Jalen Moore are men who helped build the castle, but the castle is on fire and the water costs too much. Releasing these three doesn't just clear space, it signals a new era. It tells the world that the Kansas City Chiefs are not dead, they are just shedding their skin. We are looking at a restructuring of the entire Mahomes contract, potentially clearing over $50 million in one stroke of a pen. We are looking at Chris Jones, the interior devastator, taking a pay cut or a massive backload to stay in KC. But those moves only work if you prune the branches. If you don't cut Dana, you can't keep Jones. If you don't cut Fulton, you can't re-sign your own young stars. This is the butterfly effect of the NFL. One move in March leads to a parade in February. Stay tuned, Kingdom. The road to March 11th is paved with heartbreak, but it leads to the promised land. Brett Veach has the scalpel in his hand. The question is, will he cut deep enough? Once a Chief, always a Chief, but the cap is unforgiving. How about those Chiefs? Even in the offseason, we stand tall. The Red Sea never reconsiders. We go until the final whistle.